Am I an idiot for telling my wife's best friend to stop telling our kid he's their uncle? My wife and I have a 3-year-old Tommy. My wife has a friend named Stevie. She's known him since high school and they are very good friends. I have 3 brothers. My wife has 1 sister. Stevie means well, but he's never been good with boundaries. He lives nearby, so sometimes we'll pop in unannounced. Before anyone insinuates anything, he's gay. There's nothing romantic between them. Most of the time, he's all right around Tommy, but something that really grinds my gears is that lately he's been calling himself Uncle Stevie to Tommy and uses that word all the time. We are trying to teach Tommy what words mean and family relationships. Since he has 3 bio-uncles plus my Sill's husband as an uncle, I've asked him to stop that so he learns what uncle means. My wife agrees and has asked him to stop many times, including a pretty intense argument about it, probably more about his undermining her, us, than the word, but she hates it too. He'll say okay and go right back to it. I don't care if he wants a nickname, but we are trying to teach our kid vocabulary and it's confusing him. My wife agrees and has asked him to stop repeatedly, but when he doesn't listen, she just says whatever. Then the next time he'll come over, the whole thing starts again. Yesterday he came over unannounced again and did the same thing and we kinda got into it. My wife says I'm overreacting, and even though it bothers her too, maybe I should just get over it. Maybe she's right, but it really annoys me, admittedly more than it probably should. Am I just being an AH here? Lots of people are commenting about how common it is to call family friends uncle, aunt. I have no problem if other people want to do that for their families. My wife and I grew up where we only used those terms for actual family members, and we have chosen that's how we want to raise our kid. I have nothing against how other people choose to raise theirs, but this is a decision we've made together. Not an idiot. I guess I'm not understanding your reasoning for not wanting him to call Stevie uncle. Maybe it's because I have aunts that I have always called aunts, but they were really my mom's close friend and one of her cousins. When I got a bit older, I was told the real relationship, and I was like, oh, okay, and proceeded to call them Aunt LOL. Family doesn't have to be biological. Not an idiot. You know, it's super common for friends of a parent to be called aunt and uncle, right? I have so many non-blood-related aunts and uncles. It's just a way to signify important adults to a child. That being said, I guess you're fine since you and your wife are on the same page, even if I think that page is written wrong. Are the parents being weird? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for refusing to have my future stepdaughter as my bridesmaid? I, female 36, am getting married to G, male 40. Our wedding is coming up in 9 months. We have been dating for 24 months, and I'm having 6 bridesmaids, my friends and my sister. However, when I told G and my future stepdaughter, female 16, I have known my future stepdaughter for 18 months, but we have never really got on well, even though I have done girls' weekends with her and stuff like that. They asked me why she wasn't a bridesmaid. I told her that I planned on having 6, and only having my oldest friends who I have known since I was 5 and my sister. She got really angry at this, and G took her side, saying that it would help me bond with her and so on. I told some friends what happened and they agreed with G. Am I an idiot? Edit. A lot of people have been saying she should be at the wedding party and she is with our parents. Not an idiot. It's your wedding and your choice, but whatever you choose to do, it's going to be the foundation block of your future relationship with her, even if you've already known her for 18 months. Would be nice to make that a good start rather than a potentially bad one. You're an idiot. I think that you should have your future stepdaughter in your wedding. I believe it's a slap in the face to your fiancé to disrespect his feelings at the wedding party. I also can't imagine not discussing the wedding party plan together before any positions are offered. Your fiancé shouldn't have assumed his daughter would be your bridesmaid, but he also shouldn't have found out when you were telling his daughter she wouldn't be at the wedding. Communication is key. She could have been part of the groom's party. Is this bride asking too much, or is the groom being overly sensitive? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for throwing away cookies given to us by my MIL? It was technically 1 cookie. Here's what happened. My husband's mother baked cookies and gave us 5 more to take home. My son ate 2 of the 5, leaving 3 cookies left. My husband ate a lot at my mother-in-law's house before we left the same day. Now I've been trying to lose baby weight from our most recent baby, and as such, we have a rule. No sweets in the house. I have a binging problem, and thus, if we do want sweets, we usually either make it from scratch or go out to get them when we want them and store them in designated areas in the house. He's free to store his snacks in his office gaming area, which isn't even on the same floor. We have multiple spots for them that aren't hard to reach. It's just not sitting out in my face all day. I also told him earlier that I was trying not to eat many cookies that day because my progress was slowing down due to us eating out a lot. I went out to shop for groceries because I wanted to make a meal plan, and my husband left the dishes for me to do when I got back. It was over an hour of grocery shopping, and I was tired and hungry when I got back. I started doing the dishes first and opened the cabinet that only stores our cups. And there's 2 damn cookies right there in front of me. I was mad because I had gone the entire day eating only 1 cookie. But the reasoning for not having sweets out in the open was clear at that moment, because I ate one quickly and was about to start on the other. But I decided to just throw it away because it was the only place of finality that meant I could not get it later and devour it. My husband came up and I explained that he put the cookie in a terrible spot and I saw it and almost ate them both. He said a good thing I didn't because he wanted the last one. And that's when I said I threw it out. He thinks I'm a jerk for tossing it. I think he was a jerk for putting it in the dumbest location possible, knowing I was going to do the dishes and see it. He literally just had to walk less than 5 steps over to the snack shelf and put it there. So am I the idiot for throwing it away? Edit. All right. Time to move on from reading comments. To those who voted me as an idiot, I get it. It's food waste. To the ones calling me an idiot for making my family suffer, fully read my post. Our house has lots of sweets and snacks. In fact, I realized we still have chocolate chip cookies frozen in our freezer. No one is suffering from an inability to indulge themselves when they want to. To those who said, not an idiot, thanks. I think everyone deals with food in their own ways. Mine was cemented in my head to be unhealthy at a young age, so here I am, unable to control myself at times. Thanks, not an idiot. I think the comments are pretty mean. If OP had a diagnosed eating disorder, would that make it okay for her to have no self-control? She does have self-control because she didn't eat the cookie and tried to create a system that would work for her needs. It was 1 cookie after everyone had already had plenty and not that big of a deal, TBH. YTA, why didn't you move it to the snack shelf for your husband? Seriously, good luck with the weight loss. If you have this little self-control, you have to be petty and throw out a home-baked cookie. Jerk move 100%. Is this wasteful and manipulative? Let me know in the comments. Now, would I be an idiot if I went to my mom's wedding knowing it means my brother won't attend? I, male 24, am estranged from my brother, male 20, for reasons that are my fault, extended bullying on my end when we were kids. He went no contact with me when I moved out for college, and in those years without contact, I realized how wrong my behavior was and started therapy. I've since expressed my remorse and desire to make amends to my brother, but he's declined any further contact. For family events in the years since he went no contact with me, we've sort of traded off. He'll go to one thing, I'll go to the next. But my mom is getting remarried in the fall, and obviously she wants us both to be there. I've told my mom that I'll do whatever I can to make it possible for both of us to be there. If he doesn't want to talk to me at the event, I'll do my best to make myself scarce when he's around. But it's looking increasingly like my brother will choose not to attend if I'm there. My therapist wants me to stand my ground and go anyway, but I'm feeling really guilty about it, especially since the estrangement is entirely my fault. My brother has good reasons for not wanting to see me. I'm remorseful now, but for many years in our childhood, I treated him terribly. I feel like choosing to go is sending him the message that I'm more important to the family than he is. Edit. Thanks for the perspectives, guys. I'm choosing not to elaborate on some things that might give context because I worry about this post becoming too identifiable, and I know this sub has a large reach. I hope this doesn't come across as unfair, not playing by the rules of the sub. I appreciate that people have given responses based on different assumptions because I know the situation and can determine if the comments ring true to it. The most important takeaway I have right now is that it might be time to seek another therapist who can give me a second opinion with the full context, rather than just the limited context I can give to Reddit. Not an idiot. Unlike most of Reddit, I believe people can change. You have taken steps to correct your behavior, you apologized, and left it up to him for a relationship. At this point, there's really nothing else you can do. If he wants to skip his mom's wedding because he is unable to be in the same space as you, then so be it. I will say this, though. Do not make your mother choose between her children. No idiots here. Obviously, you made some mistakes and you are owning responsibility for those mistakes. Your brother will need to decide for himself how he chooses to move forward. Maybe he never forgives you, that's his choice. But he can't control the fact that you share a mother. Her wedding day is not about you and your brother's issues. You should both do your best to make it special for your mom. Are his brother's actions his responsibility? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for kicking my stepson out of the house for smoking weed? I'm in Canada. It is perfectly legal. My stepson Sean is 18 and he is in university. He lives with his dad and I so he can go to school in our city. His mom lives on an acreage about 40 km north of town, so that would be quite the commute. I didn't really want him in my house, but my husband insisted and promised me that Sean would behave. He would clean up after himself and he would not cause me any problems. He isn't a bad kid. He does his chores and keeps to himself mostly. He had some trouble with staying up late and being disruptive when he got here last summer, but we got that sorted out. My husband and I have a 3-year-old daughter. Sean is friendly with her and has babysat her a few times. The problem is he smokes so much weed. I'm honestly surprised he isn't failing out of school. I personally don't care, except we agreed he would smoke outside or in the garage. And he's been smoking up in his room. 3 problems. 1. My daughter doesn't need to get a high contact. 2. It stinks. 3. He has the window open, so we are paying to heat up the house constantly. Frick that noise. I spoke with my husband and told him that Sean wasn't following the rules we had agreed to. He had one more chance, then he had to find somewhere else to live. Sean said he was sorry, and he promised he would behave. He even showed me that he bought edibles so he wouldn't get his sister high, stink up the house, or need to open his window. It was fine for 2 weeks, and then he did it again. So I kicked him out. I packed up his poop and took it all to his mom's place. And I had the lock codes changed. When he got home from school, he lost his poop. He said that I was being a controlling witch and that I didn't have any right to tell him what to do in his father's house. I laughed in his face. I told him that the only house his father ever bought is the one his mother lives in. His dad is my husband, but they are both living in my house. I guess he didn't know that and he started apologizing. I called him an Uber to take him to his mother. He didn't go and he called my husband instead. My husband made arrangements with his brother for Sean to move there. His mom drove all his belongings back into town and now he isn't my problem. Unfortunately for Sean, his uncle is completely against cannabis, so he can't have any there, and he is currently sleeping on a hide-a-bed. His dad, uncle, and himself are going to build him a room in the unfinished basement this weekend. My husband is on my side since Sean broke our agreement. His mother is salty about having to come into town, and Sean is begging me to let him come back. You're an idiot. This isn't about him. This is about you. You flat out don't like him, and I'm assuming because he dared to be born to another woman. You found a reason to kick him to the curb. The whole myth is disconcerting here. You literally just admitted they are just people living there at your grace. That's why you're the idiot here. The sheer joy you are getting over this massive power trip. You're an idiot. He is a jerk for smoking inside the house. Yes, this is a fact. But all I can notice about this post is you. Your house, your rules, your discipline, you're in control. Him and his dad live in your house that you bought all by yourself, so they need to bow down to you. My 3-year-old, my heating bill, holy crap, are you proud of yourself and show it? Who's wrong, this son or his controlling stepfather? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I an idiot for showing my gay friend my comic collection? I, female 28, recently invited my male 25 gay friend over for dinner and just generally hanging out. We're both the only out queer people at work, so that's how we became friends. We started talking about literature and books and stuff, and I told him I preferred comics, and he asked what kind of comics. I was upfront with the kind of comics I liked, boys love, which is like a genre of comics books that feature male-on-male romance and sex, more commonly called you, and he was surprised and asked to see them. I took him to my bedroom where I kept my stuff and showed him. He got really quiet when I started showing him the comics I read, and I asked him what was wrong. He said he thought that I was kind of weird for reading and liking these comics, and that it made him uncomfortable that I had a fixation on toxic and weird gay porn. I was hurt that he was talking about my interests like this. So I told him BL, boys love, was how I found out I was queer, but he was still uncomfortable, so I just brushed it off and we went back to talking about other things. He's been kind of distant ever since then, and I'm wondering if he's just being sensitive or I legitimately fricked up. So, am I an idiot for showing him my BL collection? No idiots here. His reaction, though, is understandable, as he may have had to deal with gay fetishization before. He could need more reassurance before being okay with the idea that you enjoy BL. I hope you guys work things out. No idiots here. He asked to see your collection. You showed him. He didn't like it. He stated his feelings, you explained yours, and now he needs time to process. That's it. That's all. Your friendship may or may not move forward from here. But you didn't do anything wrong by showing him your comics as asked.